Hi, and welcome to the next edition of The Following Creative, where I've got a truly special guest today, my friend, Rashun Kur.
I said friend, you know.
Friend is what he is. Unlucky for him. Lucky for me. And I've been trying to get Rashun on the show for a while, but he's travelling a lot at the moment, so we're really happy to have him here. So, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Our relationship goes back quite a number of years now. I'm trying to remember when I first actually met you. I don't remember. Do you remember when it was?
I remember.
You've got a good memory.
It's been like nearly, 8, 9 years?
Yeah, it must be.
First time I met you was when your DJ never turned up. And I was actually going to DJ at another event. And you had someone that worked with you called Kerr. One of my good friends.
Huh.
Yes.
Now it makes sense. Hello, yeah. Kira.
Yeah, Kira worked with you, and Kira's like, "Oh, my friend's got his bag with him. He wanted to do it," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Big up, Kira Liberati. Hope you well, sweetheart.
Yeah, and and then from that, you got my number.
You poor git.
And here we are.
And here we are, 8 years later, living the dream. So, okay, so I wanted to just start way back. Well, go way back to the beginning, before you met me 9 years ago, and tell me a little bit about your journey, where you grew up, when you first discovered music, when you realised that you wanted to go into music. Just tell us a little bit about that journey.
So, I'm from South London, Peckham, originally.
Before it was cool.
It was cool. It's always been cool. Don't listen to it. Yes, South London, yes. My journey actually started with my grandfather. My great-grandfather, I should make a point of that, actually. He's a famous jazz musician called Tony Yuta. So my granddad played with Bob Marley, and then he became a solo percussionist himself. And I used to be an ice skater. I used to be a figure skater, which sounds crazy, guy from South London. Yeah. I used to be a professional figure skater, and after every session I had, I would go to my grandparents' house and sit with my granddad for hours and hours and hours listening to jazz music. So you put a vinyl on, it's the jazz music, and that's where my love of music started.
How old were you at that point?
So I started ice skating when I was 3. So, yeah. So from that, I was going every weekend, and I'll just spend hours in the room. Like, you wouldn't find me in the house because everyone was like, "Where is he?" And I'll be there listening to music with my granddad. The transformation of listening to jazz music to actually getting my hands on a set of turntables is because of my uncle. My uncle actually was a DJ at the time, and I always was fascinated by what he did and wanted to try. So one night he was like, "Go on, play," and he would be like, if I get the mix wrong, or there'll be a bit of clanging, he'll be like, no, I've got to start the mix again. And then, yeah, that's how the love of DJing happened. And I was about 9 years old at the time. Kept mixing, kept learning. Obviously, you make mistakes along the way while you're mixing and stuff. My first ever booking, that proper booking, 12 years old, for Southbank University Student Union, which is a bit mad, yeah, 12 years old DJing. Similar with you, like, they didn't have a DJ, need someone to warm up. My cousin called me up, come to get you. Boom. Went down there, and and then from that, it's just been up from there with the music. Always wanted to be in the music industry. I always wanted to do management. So currently, I am the tour manager for one of the biggest DJs in the world, James Hype. And I've always wanted to do management. So my love for management started when I was 15. Yep, I was mad young. I used to manage an artist called J. Lee Scott. Had no clue what I was doing, but I've always watched and admire what happens in the background. So I just wanted to be involved and help with the progress and the growth of an artist. That's always what I always wanted to do. So you're obviously, I didn't know that about your
family at all, actually. I've known you all this time and I didn't know that he was a famous jazz. I feel like I want to start looking it up. I almost was going to start looking it up and playing it, listening to it, but I'll do that later. What did your mum and dad do? Like, what sort of background did you grow up? There was music there.
Yeah.
But what else was there?
So my mum is actually a teacher.
Okay.
So I've always had like educational side, and my dad, at the time when I was doing music, when I started, my dad was into management. My dad was managing, but in the hospitality sector. So watching my dad doing all the managerial stuff and what he has to go through, and it just like, oh, this is interesting. Like
you liked it, and you're like,
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I need to know what that is about, and how can I use my skills of learning from my dad can transfer into the music industry. And yeah, a lot of my management and how I conduct myself now is because of watching my dad as a manager.
Okay.
So
Wicked. Okay, that's really cool. I didn't know any of that, and I feel like I already know you and supposed to be my friend. Okay. Maybe we'll rub the first bit out about friend and just say getting to know him instead of friend. Okay, cool. So that was when you were 15. You started doing your management. What happened to schooling? What was it like living in Peckham around about that time? What did you encounter any like? You know, like I grew up in Tottenham. It was pretty intense. What was it like in Peckham?
Yeah. Peckham was rough, like proper rough. My parents didn't want me to go to school there, so I actually went to school in Kent.
Okay.
So I went to school in a place called Welling.
What was it like being in Kent?
Tough.
Yeah, because
very tough because...
Was it ethnically strong or not really?
No, it wasn't. At the time, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. 2000, 2001 really wasn't. So at the time, being in school, being one of 2-3 black people in my school, it's a bit like a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
And not from being up that side and being from Peckham and all that kind of stuff. But on the other hand, I know it sounds very negative, but with all the stuff that happened in Peckham, it helped in my favour because a lot of people won't mess with me because they're like, oh, right, the guys from Peckham, like, we'll just leave them alone.
Right.
And that worked in my favour. But yeah, it was...
Rough.
Yeah, Peckham was rough.
And schooling was...
Schooling was great in the sense of like, I made sure I was known in the sense of like, everyone knew who I was friends with everyone, I knew people above me, below me, I gave everyone the same respect, and like, everyone just knew who I was. I did leave school as the most popular boy, which was actually quite good, yeah. And I was head boy as well at school, so stuff like that always stayed close to me. But
you carried that on throughout.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because we were speaking to someone before, and they were saying that, you know, just to be friendly and be nice is free.
That's it.
Like,
That's
it doesn't cost anything to be pleasant.
Like, you know, like it's school, kids. There's always that kind of division where I hate so much. Like, I will go up to someone that doesn't really have friends or wherever it is, and I'll go talk to them. Like, I knew everyone. Like, it doesn't matter who it was. I spoke to everyone. And to bring how I was in school to real life now, if I'm in a venue, I know who the cleaner is. I know who, like, the bar staff are. I make sure I get to know every single individual person. Like, well, Billy, you know, like, when I come to your office, I'm like, oh, I don't know you, but hi, how are you? I just need to get to know who everyone is. Because what's the point of being... You don't know who that person's going to be. You don't even know who that person's going to grow up to be. Yeah. So...
And it doesn't matter if they know no one or not. It's their opinion of you and that you're a friendly human being.
And that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. And it's nice to hear that what you're saying is, even though there was a lot of grief given to you at school because you was one of only a few, and people don't understand that.
They don't get it. They don't get it.
They're not used to seeing it.
Like, they'll be like, we'll have like history, and I remember clearly when we did slavery, like, people took it for a joke and using the slur from it and all that kind of stuff. I didn't let it bother me, but then it got to a point where it's like, you just need to shut up because, like, it's not funny no more. Kind of thing. Like, I dealt with that kind of situation, but you just have to push yourself through.
And I think there's been times you've said to me before, even now, like, there's stuff that's happened that you've said, my God, I can't believe that action. And I'm like, oh my God, is that? I mean, because you're at the front of it all the time, I don't know, how do you deal with it when people just come with that bare ignorance and... Like,
you know
it's
what?
definitely racism. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
not, but it's just ignorant racing. People just say things, and you're like, "Wow, how did that come out of your mouth? What would you even?"
And that's the thing. It's difficult. It's difficult because of being in the public eye as well. You have to conduct yourself in a certain way, but at the same time, it's like, how do you conduct yourself in a certain way and take the ball that comes with it? Like, it's difficult. It's like, do I just shut my mouth, take it, and smile and go ahead, or do I say something for like the next person that comes along? Like, they don't have the same issue that I have to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's difficult. You get stuck in this middle section of like, what is the best way to conduct yourself, kind of thing. I'm still learning. That's the best way to explain it. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to understand. I'm still trying to process like certain situations I've been through and how I've dealt with it. Have I dealt with it correctly? Have I dealt with it wrong? Like, there's still that kind of thing.
And I guess because it's always happening, you're always being tested to see which way you want to move forward.
That's the thing about it. It's like, what do I do?
Yeah,
It's like, who has the answers?
No, and there's no right or wrong way. I mean, normally, whenever I've encountered it, well, before recovery, I'll just be like, bang, I'm straight in on your face about it. And I'm aggressive, but maybe now when I get that, I'm not like that anymore. I'm just a bit like, for God's sake, really?
That's it.
Like, did you really actually just do that?
And that's the problem. And especially with like this day and age with social media, it's a pro and con at the same time. It's a pro because you have people behind you, but then at the same time, on the flip side, people are going to hate you because it's going to make it even worse. And then the hate grows stronger, and it's like, how do you deal with that? And then it creates this mad bubble in your head that messes with your mental health. Like, oh, it digs you deep. It proper like hits on another level.
When that happens, what do you do? Do you just try and what's your like coping mechanism for that when it's going on?
I don't have a coping mechanism. The only going to the gym, listening to music, going on long drives. It sounds like the most cliche thing ever, but that's legit the only thing I can do to like let out my frustration of
To release.
Yeah, because it's all down to this social media era. If someone catches me doing something, what are they gonna think of me? Like, that's what goes through your head. I'm not the type of person that thinks, oh, social media is everything, but at the same time, it's like, as soon as that one clip comes out, how am I going to explain to myself that someone was racist to me and I had to do something to resolve it? Because they're probably not going to they're not going to show the side of what happened.
Yeah, yeah.
All that goes through my head. I had an incident with the police where they stopped me and it took 15 officers to stop me when they tried to accuse me of not having, that the car wasn't mine. I was like, but it is my car. You're just choosing not to go through the proper procedures. It could have taken one person to stop me. They're trying to pull me out the car and all this kind of stuff. And until I said something, I'm piped up. That's when the police took it seriously. And it's stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually stupid.
I understand.
Well, because I'm black, I can't drive a nice car and I can't live in the area I live in. Because you run the plates and saw the address, you're like, oh, no, that's not his. Makes no sense.
He's got a nice car and he lives in a nice area. Oh, he's black, it doesn't work.
That's the maths doesn't maths out. But what's going on?
1 and 1 is not 2.
Yeah, it makes no sense. But like stuff like that, I got to deal with.
And I guess the more successful you become, the more that starts to become apparent.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I get told every day that I'm black, pretty much.
How does that work? Like, what is that? How does that even like? I get like, how do you deal with that? Like you're saying you just drive, you get in your car and go for a drive, or you count to 10, or
like even when I'm away, like simple things. People won't class it as racism, but then it is because at the same time, like I fly a lot, I've accumulated a lot of miles, so I've become a top tier for like the gold member kind of thing. And it's so stupid. They'll see me and they will blatantly be like, but are you group 1? I'm like, what? Because you saw I'm black. It's not possible. Like, it's stupid like that. But even in those situations, I just have to put my headphones on, keep quiet, not do nothing. I've had an incident with an airline. Don't want to bait them up, but I had an incident with an airline that was in Canada, And the client went first. We were both in group 1. Then one guy that we were with, he was in group 5. And they said, if you're in a group, we'll walk together. So cool. We all walked together, got to me, and everyone was like, I said group 1 only. And I said, I am in group 1, show the thing. She just full on like hit me in my face. Yeah. God. Everyone saw it. So like I deal with stuff like that. Like I'm getting physically
abused.
Yeah. Well, I've been punched in the face before. Used the N-word a few times just to make them feel
strong.
Yeah.
And they're weak instead.
What?
Do you channel that into something? Do you like, right, do you know what? I'm just going to push all that into something and like...
Yeah, I do. Like I said, it's just going to the gym. That's the only way I can get out and like have an outlet and try to talk to people. Like, we're friends.
Yeah.
So
We talk. We do talk.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know about you great granddad's a G. I feel like I'm never going to get over that ever.
You know, I'll call you or...
Yeah, we talk about it. We talk about it, which is why I want to bring it up because like you go through it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. I hear you going through it, and when you tell me, I'm like, shit, that's dark. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. But again, I just try channeling in a way of like I try to teach what I've gone through, and like so people know I don't want you to go through that same thing. And then I try to learn from the process of it and try to deal with it as best as I can. Like I would never used to be a talker. And it's sick that you got this podcast and like talking and stuff like that because I never used to be a talker until I spoke to you. And we spoke a lot. So it's like from not being a talker to then being able to talk about situation and bounce off each other, it's like, it's amazing.
Because, you know, we're also men. Like, and, you know, we're taught from a very young age that, you know, men have got to be men and
that's the
we
thing,
don't get upset and we got no feelings and we just got to button it all down. And, and I don't know, I saw that from my parents and not in a bad way because my dad saw it from his dad and that's how it was.
Same.
We only got love from mum.
Yeah.
We got beats from dad. But that was okay because that's just how it was. But, you know, we're now living in a society where we can talk about how we feel.
And that's the thing. And I think that negative stigma around it needs to, like, just disappear. I'm not going to say that I talk all the time, but I'm more open to talk now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more open to talk. Like, well, you knew from before, like, I will literally just go dead. I used to do a thing where I'll just cut. You won't hear from me. No one knows where I am. I'm just like, I'm working, head down, until someone asks me, and then I'll be like, oh, yeah, this happened. And they'll be like, what? Well, I didn't say anything. I'm like...
Yeah, whereas now you can talk about it.
Yeah.
Amazing. I wanted to get that down because I hear it from you and I'm like, I'm always shocked when I hear it. And I shouldn't be shocked because I know that it is proper rife.
Yeah.
But I think also in England as well, it is getting better. I'm talking about not necessarily racism. I'm talking about men being able to talk about their feelings.
Yeah.
The racism might be better one week, and then the next week it's gone back to the dark ages again.
And that's it.
You're back in the 80s, like living some shit. You didn't even, like you were like, wow, okay, I remember something like that happening when I was young, but actually it just happened again. But yeah, like we need to talk as human beings, as men, as people that are going through hard times. We need to chat when we're feeling shit. Otherwise, the only thing for that is we go more in ourselves, more depression, and
that's it.
We spiral internally, and no one knows what's happening. The best one is when, how you doing, bro? Yeah, I'm all right. You're not really. Okay, let's start again. Shall we start again?
I feel like now, I say this year. I'll definitely say this year. If someone asks me if I'm all right, I'll be like, nah, I've seen better days. But I'm getting there. That's my response because I'm not saying I'm okay. I'm not saying there's something wrong. I'm just...
It's where you are at that moment in time. So you're like... So you were doing DJing. Tell me, you were 15. We went way over there. Let's come back. Let's come back to you were managing someone at 15.
Yeah.
You know, you'd seen how your dad had taught you, and what you'd learned from your dad.
Yeah.
And your mum's very educated, so your family's musicians.
Yeah.
You got all this, quite a lot of creative stuff going around you, really. Like,
do you know what?
Did they champion it? Did they push you? Did they say do whatever makes you happy?
100%. My parents have never stopped me from doing anything. They've always like championed me to do greatness. Having a mother that's in education helped a lot because I'm dyslexic as it comes. I'm so dyslexic, like, but I always hid it and no one really knew that I was dyslexic. Like, even you didn't know until one time I told you. But yeah, and to have that extra help and that extra push, it helped a lot. So like, it was my parents that actually bought my first set of decks. Like,
what were they?
My first set of decks were a Gemini setup. I remember that clearly, and they were purple. They were purple, and then my dad refused to buy speakers. So like, he had speakers, he let me use them for a bit, and then he actually taught me how to build them.
Okay.
So my set of speakers actually built them, which was,
you could build them at one point. You could buy all the bits,
and that's it.
Get the box and make them work.
Do that, yeah. That was it. Because my uncle that taught me how to DJ, that's what he did. I go there, he's always building some speaker box or this bass bin because he wanted this sound, and so I had to learn like that. And my sisters will tell you how I used to play the same tracks back to back just because I needed to get the mix on point or come up with a crazy transition. And I was on vinyls. I still play vinyl now. I love vinyl. Like, that will never go away. But my parents always supported me, no matter what. Like, even my dad or my cousins would drive me to my gigs because obviously I was like 12, 13. I couldn't drive, so they would drive me to the gigs. My mum will take me on the bus, or my mum will come to the gigs. My mum will always come to a New Year's one, which was actually really cool. But yeah, it was good.
So you got your Geminis, you started doing more and more work. When you left school, what was your mindset? Did you leave school, go to uni?
When I left school, it was all about the music. That was it. I was like, I'm gonna do music. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I know that's all I'm doing. Like, I'm definitely doing that. If it's DJ and whatever, I'm doing that. So I ended up going to a college called Northwest Kent College, which is actually now called North Kent College. Brilliant college. Picked them up. I actually studied music and technical arts, meaning that it's to do with the theatre. So that's what I learned. So production, in terms of making beats and stuff, but then also the technical side of it, where it was like putting on shows, what goes into all that kind of stuff. I did that because I studied drama at school. So yeah, I did drama GCSE. But from there, I was like, going to university. I actually wanted to go to Manchester University or SAE, which are like proper music-driven universities. And then accidentally, I came across the uni I actually went to, Buckinghamshire University, because I found that they were doing stuff with Sony. By the time, it was just like the start of their collaboration. I was like, it's a huge risk I'm about to do. I could go to this uni that it's not really music-driven, or I can go to like a high renowned music school. End up going to Buckinghamshire Uni. But it kind of went a bit left for me because I became really ill. I have a heart condition, and it was a rare heart condition at the time, and they didn't know what was going on, so I had to stop everything I was doing. Like, I had to slow down and all that kind of stuff. And then the passing of my grand, that was who got me into ice skating. So all of that was just a mix of it, being in hospital, dealing with that. So I'll call it, they let me go.
Okay.
At the end of second year of university. Because it's a good university. I don't want to throw a shake at them, but it was a very good university. And I was like, no, that's not going to hold me back. I'm going to find my way back into what I'm doing. And yeah, from there, it's just been go from getting a big DJ contract in Tenerife. So there used to be a club called Tramps, and then they brought me over to do like Ministry of Sound nights and stuff like that. And then, I just made links, and it's been mad. And to add to that, it's when I met you that everything like went crazy, because you showed me how to like network. And so he's not paying me to do this, but this actually...
I actually ain't, but it's great stuff. Well,
this actually happened.
I don't remember it because I think that, when you're with someone and you're just sorry to cut across and you're getting on and you're pals and you're just learning, you're just doing stuff together.
Oh, yeah.
It never was like, this happened or that happened. It just was very organic between us from the moment I met you, I think.
Yeah, legit. legit. Like you didn't even know me, and you were introducing me to people. Who were like, I can't let you go. Can you just DJ like one more? I was like, yeah, that's cool. And like at the end, introduced, and then it was you that taught me the power of networking. So the fact that you used to bring me to meetings, and you'd be like, no, you talk in the meeting, and I would just be like, what? But no, you legit. So I have a lot to thank you for learning
That's
about.
very nice to hear. I didn't know I did that, but I'm glad that I did.
Yeah.
Something good there came out.
Oh yeah. No, literally, we had a conversation. We sat down and you asked me what do I want to do, and this was like 2014, I think it was 2014, 2015. And I was like, do you know what? That's a very good question. I don't know what. I don't know.
I think that's a question I ask a lot of people, including myself. Still am.
Yeah, and
I think it changes as you get older anyway.
No, for real, it literally just stuck with me. And I was like, what do I want to do? Like, yeah, I'm DJing, I've got all these bookings and stuff like that. And then there was a point where you had to go on holiday, you had to deal with something. And then you said to me, do you think you'd be up for managing an event for me? And I was like, yeah, I got this. Don't worry, I got this. And you literally just threw me in a deep end. You gave me managers, gave me artist contact, agents contacts, and just threw me in. I remember it clearly. The 11th. This is how important this is. The 11th of November, 2017. I remember it clearly.
What date was that? What did we do?
It was a Thursday. We did a shoot with IMDDB.
Ah, yes.
Yes, I
And
remember.
then we did an event with her after.
And then
in South London.
Yeah.
No wonder I wasn't there.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke.
But yeah, and that
I was
is...
away. Yeah, I remember I was away.
Yeah,
Went
and
away.
you were like, can you do it? And I was like, yeah. And I'll tell you now, I had no clue whatsoever what I was doing. Like, obviously, I wanted to get into the management, but I had no clue what I wanted to do. And yeah.
And you did it.
You did it, yeah.
And I guess you've kind of had that attitude like your whole life, which is like, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, I'm just going to do it. And what's crazy about it, my DJ career had just like blown, like it literally went crazy. I was getting booked everywhere and working with like crazy artists, like supporting people like David Guetta and stuff like that. DJing, that's when I DJed for Chris Brown and stuff. So like everything just built up, and then you threw that in my lap, and I was like, right, this is my opportunity to do my management. Yeah,
and you did it.
Yeah, and that year alone is when I hooked up with Billy the Kid, who was at Kiss at the time. So I was TMing for him, and then I started managing him, and all that stuff kind of started getting put together. And then you threw me the biggest task ever. And to this day, I'm so thankful. It was the first Notion festival type thing at Troxy.
Yeah, 3,600 people.
2018, 27th of July, 2018. That's when I decided I really, really wanted to be a tour manager. And we had like a big conversation with someone that's a very, very, very big artist. And I got linked with their tour manager, which is now my mentor.
Amazing.
And that was because of that show.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That was because of
all
that
I know
show.
is that I remember that event, I walked 24 kilometres. That's all I remember about it. And my legs were shaking after it and lost my voice.
And me and you were just back to back. Like, it was mad. Like, we had back-to-back meetings. Nick was very, very influential to me because Nick literally
Nicholas is my business partner at Notion. Big up Nick. We're waiting for him to come on the show.
Big up Nick, because it was Nick that basically showed me the way of gassing. Nick taught me that don't walk away and say no. Like, literally, you need to just talk and tell them what you need. And yeah, that was Nick.
Yeah, it's still Nick.
Yeah, still Nick.
It's still Nick.
Yeah. So yeah. So a lot. Yeah. I wanted to wait to this podcast to tell you. So yeah, that's.
I'm glad I know that now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that. It's a lot I don't. But then again, I think sometimes I'm just sort of like, we just get on and do things.
Yeah,
and
and
we're on it. Like, you're on it, I'm on it.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I've actually got the same glasses as Rashun because he showed me. These are like the Ray-Bans. Take a picture one. Ray-Bans, if you want to send us anything new, please do. So that's been really a pleasure having that experience with you. So Let's just move forward a little bit. Let's get to, so you've kind of gone on now. You're doing your big DJs. Things are blowing up. You've realised you want to go into management. It's kind of been quite organic. It feels like.
Oh yeah, everything's just.
It wasn't like anything. Yeah. Just kind of it all was like, oh, there's the next step. There's the next step. Did you ever doubt yourself? Was there a point before you blew up, before you started getting and you're like, oh my god,
was there any doubt?
Am I going to go into teaching?
Do you know what? There's always doubt in things. You always doubt yourself. There's always this like, but can I do it? But can I be as great as this person? Can I do it? Like you start judging yourself kind of thing. And I've always had this mentality like, if you don't do it, you're never going to know. Like, if it leaves you with £1, it leaves you with £1, but at least you tried it. And yeah, it's just always been that in my head. Like, you got this. Come on. And to have supportive parents, that helps as well. Our parents have been always supportive. Like, you know, not just my parents, my whole family have been supportive, from my siblings to my grandparents to like my aunts and uncles. They've always pushed me, be like, you've got this, go get it. And yeah, amazing. I've just been like, and like friends, like people that always been there. It's just,
even when you felt like, I'm not sure, you just gone, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Just going to keep going to see what happens.
If I failed, I failed. If I just keep going. Like, especially when I was emailing people about tour management and stuff like that, the guy I'm referring to is a guy called Ben Taylor, helped me a lot. I actually emailed Ben straight after that show about tour management because he told me to email him. Ben didn't get back to me for a year later, but I just never gave up. I just kept emailing different companies, see if I can get into a show. And then literally a year later, speaking to him, and he just like almost like mentored me into like what I'm doing now. And yeah, it's just been a real movement. Like,
tell me a little bit about what you do now.
So, like I said,
explain to everyone like what that's about.
So, I am the tour manager to James Hype. It has been the most epic journey so far. I've been with James for I don't know when this podcast comes out, but this date today is the 11th of September, and it's exactly 2 years I've been with James to this date. And we've literally gone from the smallest clubs to doing festivals that hold like 250,000 people. And it's absolutely amazing. The journey's been incredible, and I couldn't ask for, like, everything I worked for has come to this moment, and now I'm actually doing what I love and helping people along the way, which is mad. I met a guy the other day that was saying thank you for helping me get to where he is now. I was like, I didn't do nothing. I just showed you the way. Like, I didn't actually physically give him anything. I just gave him links, and he just done his own thing. I said, this is you, mate. This is all you. And I'm just doing the teachings that I've held, like from you or like from Ben or from like Nick and stuff like that. I just
trying to give back constantly.
Yeah, always.
Explain to us what an average day with James looks like. Not as in where you are, but obviously it's the same type of, he's playing.
Average is...
Not average, but you know what I mean? Like, what do you do you're with him for? Let's say he's going to go and play in... I remember you telling me there was a festival. Was it 600,000 in America?
Yeah, EDC. So an average day looks like we'll fly in. So if we do from the UK, we fly from the UK, land. James will go to his hotel room and start prepping his sets. So he could be there for an hour, he could be there for 3 hours, he could be there for a whole day just prepping his sets while I'm out doing sound check, doing checks in terms of like if the decks are working, pyro, CO2, fire, all that kind of stuff to see if that's there for the show. Everything we need for the show, if it's there. Previously, before we took on a production manager, shout out to Joe Hardy. He does all our lighting and our visuals, and he will check all the production that needs to be done. Before, it was just me that would do that. I'll go check to make sure the lighting guy knows what he's doing. Can we work together and stuff like that? And yeah, that's pretty much my day to day. If there's not a hiccup, if there's not like James gets on and a deck breaks like it did this weekend. Like, you just need to be on board. You need to be on game. Like, literally, you can't be
thinking on your feet.
That's it. Like, you can't be like, oh, he's DJing now. I'm gonna go pop a bottle or a drink, or I'm gonna go chat to gal. It's like, it's not that kind of job. If that's what you think it's about, and you think it's about getting gal and drinking all that stuff, it's not for you. It's very hands-on and being alert, and is someone going to reach out to attack him, or is the deck's going to break, or is his in-ears not working, so can you flip it, like having spares for stuff. I carry a vest, and in my vest I've got spare link cables. Link cables is what connects the decks together. I've got spare RCA cables. That's the cable that leads from the deck to the mixer. I've got all that kind of stuff. I even got spare in-ears for him to use. I have that as well.
Okay,
so anything goes wrong. I even
You're
got
the
pens.
backup man, basically.
Basically, I got everything. I got spares from recording. We record every set, so we record analog, we record digital, but I also record digital on the iPad, which has the timer as well. Stuff like that. I'm always prepared. You just always got to think on your feet, because you never know what happens. We have issues with flights. Flights might get cancelled. All right, what's the next flight we can get to the next show on time? Can we drive there? That stuff.
Have you done any crazy driving? Because I think remember you told me.
Yeah, we've done a crazy journey. No flights were leaving Montreal. That's Canada, Montreal, and we needed to get back to New York that night. So we paid an Uber driver to drive us all the way from Montreal to New York City, 7.5 hours.
It must have been a nice fare for him, though.
Oh, he was happy.
I bet you he was.
Do you know what? It was just a touch, because he needed his passport to get across the border, and he had his passport in his car, and I was like,
who carries their passport in their car? That was fate.
That's it. That was it. So,
and I noticed as well, you're doing a lot of private jets, and it's a lot of like, is that when you can't fly into the right area, or is that the festival saying, we have a jet, we're taking you in?
Do you know what? Sometimes it's that, and sometimes it's to do with the facts or the routing. Sometimes the routing might be a problem. If we have 2 shows in one day, we can't get to a venue, or if we need to be there a certain time. Sometimes it's that we get it for the fact that we just need rest. We need to sleep. It can get intense to the point where you're having like 2-3 hours sleep, and then having to get to the airport, sleeping on the plane. Then you have another 2 hours sleep at the hotel to then go to your show. So there's issues that can occur like that. And then if you can get a jet, we all get our 5 to 6 hours sleep, get on a jet, go do the show, and that helps as well. But majority of the time it's to do with the routing of the show. Sometimes you can't get to places where you want to get, because with commercial flights, it's set timing, or they would have one flight that night or that one flight that day. So that is the issue sometimes.
Yeah, okay. So basically, like, you're doing the job of your dreams that you've worked throughout your life to bring you to this moment.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And you're super happy. Is there anything more that you'd like to do? Like, what sort of... I know you're doing this now, but what's next for Rashun? Where does Rashun want to go, and how does he get there? Does he see that vision yet?
The vision is already blossoming as we speak. My vision is to have as many artists to manage and as many artists to tour manage with, but also give back to my community and people that think that they can't get into the industry. The industry's about rapping or singing or DJing or something. There's other avenues you can get in. So I've started a project called the Creative Project, which will be starting as of 2025. It was meant to start 2024, but I've had a lot of personal issues. So
tell us about this project that you're doing, because you mentioned it to me. Just tell us a bit.
So basically, is helping my community. So from the age of 18 to 25, I'm going to take a bunch of people, 10 people to be precise, 10 people, and just listen to what they want to do within the industry. And then if it's like you want to do lighting design, if you want to do, I don't know, visuals, or you want to be a tour manager yourself, I'm going to help you get to that position. And then at the end of it, give you a job.
Amazing.
So that's what I want to do. Because I've listened to a lot of people and they're like, oh no, but bro, you DJ, didn't it? That's how you got into it. No, that's not really how it all happened. But I can see why they see it that way. Or you know this person, innit? You met this person, so that's how you go. Yeah, I get you, but now I want to be that person to help you, innit? So...
Because it's very rewarding.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So, yeah, the creative project will be starting... Well, it started already, but as of 2025, we will be set located and...
Amazing. Yeah. So, this is the question. As someone who has witnessed the evolution of music, the music industry over the 2 decades, how do you see the future of live music and touring? Are there any trends or changes that you anticipate in the coming years? So like, you've been in it for 20 odd plus years.
I'm going to sound
like...
Not that
you don't look a day over 15. Damn. But what do you think it's going to become? Is it changing?
I'm going to be that annoying person, and I feel like this is the talk of the town at the moment. AI. I see it coming, but I feel like this is my personal opinion. Before anyone attacks me, my personal opinion is it's there, but don't let it take over your life. You can push through. I think live music, we need live music. We need live music mentally. We need it physically, and it's rewarding. So, because there's AI, it doesn't mean it's going to take over. I know they're doing a whole, like, they can change people's ways and make you sound like this, that, and other. Be your own individual self. Be you. That's what I see. Like, that's what I really feel like. Be you in it, and the music can stay alive.
Okay, amazing. Okay, and what advice would you offer any young professionals aspiring to follow in your footsteps?
See, I love that question. When people ask me, be individual. Again, I know it sounds like I'm repeating myself from the last question, but be you, be original, and just don't listen to people. When you start listening to people and doubting yourself and stuff like that, yeah, that's when it just all goes wrong. And I'm talking from experience. I'm talking about from myself. I've had people that haven't seen the vision, or people that have like commented like, oh, that's rubbish, man. You can't do that. It's not going to happen, kind of thing, yeah. If I allowed that to push me down, I wouldn't be where I am now. So don't listen to people. Do you think for yourself? You can ask for advice or people to have their input to help if that helps you, but just be you. Being you is the most important thing, because you're your number one fan. If you're not going to be your number one fan, then it's not going to work. You need yourself to be that number one fan. Then anyone can be your fan.
Got it. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, I think we've covered what I wanted to cover. Like, even though we went somewhere and we came back and we went here and
no, but do you know what I love is the fact that 2 grown men have a conversation about the situation, and we're friends. This is my brother right here, and it's like sometimes you have to show your appreciation. So I wanted to thank you as well.
You as well, bro, because I've been through a lot the last couple of years, and like, you've been there tight. I've been able to call you 24/7 and cool. Rant, rave, cry, scream, shout on the phone, and I know you've got my back and I've got yours, and that's how it rolls. And
like, he calls me at different. Like, I've been in a different time zone. He'll call me. It doesn't matter what time it is, and I think that's what like a broship, like a brotherhood should be like. Like, men need to talk out and have that conversation. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, bro. Always and all the time, fam.
What's up?
Love that.